Hello guys, today I'm gonna do something what I haven't made a video of before. We're gonna fix something new. Not any classic cars, we're gonna fix the wife's Nissan Leaf. Apparently it started to make a clicking noise again because they fixed it before, but now it's out of warranty, so it's gonna come into my garage and go in between all these old cars. And we're gonna adjust the nut torque on the CV joints. Apparently there is a repair advisory came out in Nissan that they had to be torqued more than what they thought. So we're gonna have to torque it to 147 foot-pounds, sorry. So we're gonna take the wheels off and then we're gonna retorque those nuts. Hopefully that will take care of the clicking what just started again. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna find the little lock, like the little key for this, so we can actually take the wheel off. So it slips in the trunk. If you have a Leaf, on the left side you're gonna find a little bit of cover. You take the cover off and you're gonna find it right there. This is what you're looking for. It was a little dark in there, but this is what the lock key looks like, and that will go right in. The stipulation is that you're not supposed to use that wrench what the tire shops use. Make sure it's a hand tight, it's a hand wrench, and then when you go on it, you just basically got to twist it until it goes right in there. So now it's in there, so you always have to put a little bit of pressure on it to make sure it doesn't come off. So again, when you put it on, you're just gonna twist it until it's gonna go click in, just very nicely. Boop, there it is. So now it's there. So now you can actually use the wrench to take the lug nut off. So I'm gonna use this bar to loosen up that one nut, and then we're gonna use my impact wrench to loosen up the rest of the bolts. But before we do that, we're gonna lift the car up a little. Get ready. This thing weighs as much as an F-150. It's incredible. So we're gonna have to find the lifting point, and the lifting point is right there. There's two little cutouts there, so it's a little bit more inside from this spoiler. Make sure you lift it up there, not with the spoiler, because then that spoiler is gonna break on it. So we're gonna put that lift in there and lift it up. Now that it's lifted up, I'm gonna put a jack stand there just to be sure, that make sure it's not gonna come lower. It doesn't have to be right on the money, but at least it's there, so in case the hydraulic floor jack will give away, this jack stand will support the whole thing and not gonna do any damages. And now we're gonna take the wheel off using this Makita, but you can just use any kind of hand lug nut wrench or anything. Just take the wheel off. So the problem with the car is that when you're slowing down, it starts clicking. So when you actually use the e-pedal or without it, it actually makes a clicking noise, somewhat like this. So that's what actually you hear it inside. The problem is that this nut may not be tightened up to specs, and therefore the shaft will be able to move inside and it will chew up the whole thing. That's what happened before when the car was still under warranty. The problem is that this nut is actually a one-time use nut, because there is the little deal in it what needs to be hit in, and that's how you secure the nut from loosening up. So I think I'm just gonna hit something in it and then take this off, and then we'll find a new nut for it and put that back on. I hit one of these, I don't know, one of these bars in it, and I made this knot to come up a little bit. So now we can try to tighten it and see what's happening. Is it tight or is it loose? So please remember that I'm not a Nissan mechanic. I'm not any kind of mechanic. I'm an airline pilot. I'm just fixing my own cars. I'm showing you what I'm doing. Am I doing something wrong? So please do not try to do this at home, because this is not an advice. It's just entertainment to show you how I'm doing stuff. So maybe you can do your own research, or figuring out that this is too much for you, take it to the dealer. That's the best deal. They have really good mechanics. They have the factory training. That's the best way to do it. I'm just showing you what I'm doing right now. So what I'm thinking, if I would start turning this nut here with all my might, with these big bars, then it will turn the wheel, and it will actually turn everything with it, the whole thing, and only the inside of the transmission wheel, the parking part, will hold it against from turning. So I'm gonna have to put it into neutral, make sure that I can move this by hand, and then I'm gonna put one of these here to hold it from turning, to make sure that not the internal transmission part will hold against that 148 foot-pounds of torque. I don't want to break the inside of the transmission, that's what I'm saying. Let's get in and check it out. How can we put it in neutral? First off, I want to make sure that I push the parking brake so it's holding the car from rolling away. So first we're going to turn on the car. When we turn it on, the nice dash will come on, and you can see that it's in park, so it wouldn't roll like we've seen it outside. So next thing what we're going to do, we're going to hold the shifter to the left. There is an encryption here, so hold the shifter to the left and wait until it shows N. And now you can see it's showing N over there, if I can get it there. So now it's in neutral. So now we know for sure it's not gonna roll away because the parking brake is set, but as soon as I let the brake go, it goes into park. See, I let it go. Okay, well, it's time to get some help. So my son is sitting in the car. He will put it into neutral while he's holding the brake. Holding the brake will be a dual function. One is that the car will not put itself back to park, and the other one is that I don't have to hold the whole rotor in position with that much of a force. So I found the proper wrench or socket for it. It's very nicely on. So it's a 32 millimeter or 1 1/4 if you have a standard size. It just very nicely fits on. So next thing I'm gonna do, I have the wrench wind up to 147 foot-pounds, and I'm gonna see if I can torque it, see if it's on torque or is it loose. Looks like it's on torque very nicely. So it looks good. Don't even have to hold it back, it's the brakes is holding it. Yeah, I hit this lock part back. It looks like it's very nicely holding it. And technically I'm supposed to have a new nut put on, but I don't have one, but I'll probably order one and put it on later. But it's not gonna go anywhere. It looks very nice. So I'm gonna put everything back together and let's try the other side. So this side definitely was clicking earlier, and then we took it to the dealer. They said they changed the axle. In my book, the axle is all this part in there, including this one, but it looks like it's only the outer side is new on it. So I don't know what they changed, but they didn't really hit this in. You see how much I hit in the other side? This one is barely hit in there. So I'm gonna hit it out a little bit and then retorque it, see how much torque it got, and see if it actually clicks when I move it. We did the same procedure on this side, but they were really tight, so it's okay. So I hit it back, hit the nut back where it's supposed to be, and now I'm just gonna put it back together. So this tells me that if this whole thing continues to make a noise, I'm gonna just have to replace those two CV axles. So I'm gonna start shopping for those. I only gonna put an original Nissan part, and I'm gonna go with the rebuilt one. And I think they changed the outside of this in the dealer, but not the inside. I don't know how is that possible. How did they do it? But maybe I gotta do a little research. Maybe I can do the same thing. So I'm gonna put the wheel back, and we're gonna torque down the lug nuts. And I like to remind everyone, when they put the lug nuts on, you always do it in a star-shaped pattern. So you put one on and tighten it just a little bit, and then go the opposite end, and here, then here, then here, then here, and slowly go on, maybe 2 or 3 sequences, and then you can really tighten it when it's on the ground, and it requires a torque wrench and torque it when it's done. Well, after doing nothing, I retorqued the lug nuts, and I like to remind you, if you use a torque wrench, make sure you release the tension before you put it away. So what I'm thinking is that the nuts were torqued correctly. When the car came out from the factory, they were not torqued correctly, so therefore it's chewed up on the right side here. So they changed just the outside of the CV axle. I don't know how it's possible, but they apparently did it, and it used to be able to buy just the outside. So what I'm thinking, if it starts clicking again, then instead of changing both CV axles, I'm just gonna go to the driver's side, since this wasn't changed, and I'm gonna buy a new Nissan complete CV axle. And once the clicking gets worse, I think I'm just gonna change that. Now that we eliminated the torquing problem on the bolts, I'm sure that's the last thing what I need to look at. Now it's all done. Did nothing, but the customer is happy because she didn't pay a penny for it. So now, just to be able to do something, I'm gonna wash off all these bugs from the front of the car, and then off she goes. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.